Great Ace Attorney time. We're getting testimony from the cop and his wife, who looks like he's very tired. Yes, this poor man. All right. Most of our friends are not really feeling it, Mr. Krabs, so I'm going to be doing most of the voices tonight.
I'm sick.
That's fine. I'm not saying that as a dig.
No.
That hurts.
All right.
Both hurts, but...
All right. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day. Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsu at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of defense that you established in the summation examination will be quashed. It's death knell, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place. What an unfortunate bee chancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too. Oh, I know. But I still managed to go out for an evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused Mr. Soseki Natsu. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except that the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking. Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord. All right, so I'm gonna press on a few statements that seemed a little vague. All right. It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Hold it! No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. B? Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply. Well, I think you could probably see. You could probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you? I think Rolly looks even more so handsome in his uniform. Ever so handsome. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling? yank on the scarf. Huh? What? Oh, I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. Was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy. Oh no, Rolly, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct? That's right, sir, yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. A policeman is my life, sir. As long as I'm proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all its policemen on our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir! And for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to feel safe and secure. So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then. Plus, sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, Pats. Oh, Rolly. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold. If a little over the top, perhaps. And then, kindly describe what happened next. Okay. Anyway, two silhouettes fought in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box.
Hold it!
Was it your husband who went to fetch help? No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am a proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling? What? Oh, yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty by that point. But a bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it. I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the bobby on duty. There is nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know. And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens. Oh, please! You're making us blush, isn't he, darling? Yes, sir! What Patricia said, sir. Well, let's move on, shall we? It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Hold it!
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you? We absolutely could! Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know! This poor man. Right. The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light. It was only light, didn't he? Yes. And what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live in with it, of course. Oh, it is! When it's thick, you can't even see a hand at the end of your own arm. Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about? The constant fog keeps our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we could tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling? What? Yes. It was the accused and no mistake. The mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose. Unmistakable, sir. As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from us. So that's it, is it? It's their entire testimony? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they saw. They say they saw. Mr. Natsumi running away from the scene on Briar Road. Yes, I feel the same. So if that's true, where does that leave us? Members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Oh no. Then what do we do? If Kazuma-sama were here... What were you trying to say? I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony. What do you mean, somewhere else? Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsumi is unequivocal. Calling that into question will help. But if you can identify some other part of their testimony that appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them. To make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of that day is accurate. Oh, right. Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion. Why do I always seem to be so up against it?
Oh, jeez, that looks amazing.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right, is it? Well, out with it. What? Oh, no, it's not... It's really not that at all. My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every single detail. Everything. Like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one I could. Every single one. Oh, really? And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is. Could we hear those titles, please? Well, that won't do it. No, it won't do at all. The Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolling would. I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please, put your husband's fists down. Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Meat. Might that appease you? Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? That sudden jolt. Like, ugh. I can even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene. Hold it! Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say. Those purchased by the accused at the nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question. After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I am a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Rolling. And what was your husband doing at the time? Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know. Ever so hard. Don't you, my darling? Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime. Well, Mrs. B, seeing as you regaled the court with the tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene? I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was The Picture of Monsieur Somebody or Other, and What's It Yearnings? Then there was A Meal for Someone, and the last one was definitely The Thing Gummy Something.
Are we literally just going to tell her that's not remembering it exactly? Because that's clearly not exactly what she remembers.
Interesting.
Wait, what are all the lists?
Those titles that she mentioned were on Mr. Natsumi's receipt of the books he bought. So why are those books at the crime scene? Why are they lying at her feet? Maybe she, I think there might be something else going on here.
I don't get it.
You see?
Wait, what's the problem? If their testimony is correct, wouldn't his books be there?
Well, then shouldn't the receipt say her name?
Oh wait, they bought books too?
Well, no. Like, look, they're saying that the books were surrounding her at the crime scene, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, that would imply that she had the books on her. like they were her books.
Huh.
Why would he have dropped his books? Wouldn't he have tried to run with them?
Huh.
I mean, I guess I will see where they go. Yes, I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory. Oh well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure. There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it.
What's the most successful lie in history? I've read and agreed to the terms and the conditions.
Well, what did I tell you? So I think it's very mean, the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling? Anyone who upsets my Patricia will have me to answer to.
Bro, put the gun down.
Terrifying.
Okay,
Yes,
you
really
had me
is.
at red velvet. Red velvet cinnamon buns.
Okay.
Oh.
That's... So, at that statement right there, the one where she can recall everything, she can recall the names of the books. I could even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene. So here... Oh, that explains even that is actually more simple than I thought.
What?
She says I could even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene.
There's
He only had
3.
There's only 3 at the scene.
And she didn't list 4. She just said 3.
I mean, she did list. She actually did list 4 titles, but there's only 3 books at the scene.
Interesting.
Objection!
So you're saying that there were 4 books? That's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, A Meal for Someone, and A Thing Gummy Something. I'm sorry, Mrs. B, but there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. Oh no, what flaw? It's simply that at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4. What? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see, there are only 3 books. But no, that can't be. I saw them. Oh, I know what it is. Yes, you can't fool me. Sorry. It's that big old lump of a dead body. The lady's so large, her corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book, that's all. I mean, that could be true. That could be true. We don't know for sure, though. Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman isn't dead, even if we're insulting her size.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Mrs. B. But Mr. Natsume could not possibly have dropped the 4 books you described because the receipt backs up the claim. that There's only 3.
Exactly.
Why not? Fascinating. And from your assured tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume. Ah, evidence. Counsel, you will present evidence to substantiate your claim or withdraw it. What proof do you have that the accused did not drop 4 books? The receipt.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in the form of this bookshop receipt. Ah, okay, so if I presented the receipt first, I wouldn't have had to present it later on.
Okay.
Since I presented the picture first, I had to present the receipt to back up my claim.
Fair.
I mean, honestly, you get to the same point no matter what, but yeah, same thing. From your books. Yes, this receipt details Mr. Natsume's purchases that week. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed. No. Therefore, Mr. Natsume would have only dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no! No! Oh no.
Objection!
Oh boy. Alright, what do you have to say? What do you have to say? It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that can be relied upon, my
Bruh.
Nipponese friend. What? What cannot be denied is that these two witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well we have no hope of disproving. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. I see. I see. But your plan has somewhat recoil against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect. Oh? You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found. But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books. Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print. You have a second print.
Bruh! Don't!
You mean to say... That's 4 I've broken against this lamp now. You owe me for that. She was holding it in her hand. Allow me to present another. One that shows the victim's hand.
Why didn't you show that sooner, bro?
Why does that book have a bite mark in it?
Wait, what? Where?
Look at it. Look at the corner. Look at where the pages are.
Burn.
It looks like, or it's burnt.
Oh! I didn't even notice.
Oh. So it came from Mr. Garadeb's apartment.
Why is she holding one that came from Mr. Garadeb's apartment?
Maybe it was thrown out the window when the wife was on her angry tirade.
Huh.
And she was throwing shit at him.
Interesting.
Wait a minute.
Did she throw a knife as well?
I don't know. I don't think so. Not yet. We can't say for certain yet. But that doesn't make sense then why she would hold it, because we're claiming that it was on the opposite side of the road.
Yeah.
Unless where the crime took place is incorrect. Unless our assertions are incorrect.
It's so confusing.
I don't believe it. It's the 4th book. And also the title of the book. It's called The Lion's Pride. What other character is known for being a fan of lions? Mr. Garadeb.
Yeah.
As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print of the victim's torso. No! No! Order! Order! There! You see? Look at that! Look! Yes. It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beeds, the titles once again, if you please. Oh, yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other. The picture of Monsieur Lecoq. What's it yearnings? Canterbury yearnings. A meal for someone. A meal for Gaborio?
I guess, yeah.
In fact, as the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly. Yeah, okay. Flawlessly, okay. Save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beats' powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional. What about the 4th title she's claiming? Because if it's not The Lion's Pride, then it's faulty. Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment. Yes, sir, flawless! Patricia is flawless! But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Beat mentioned 4. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. I'm sorry, Counsel, but does that not seem odd? What was the title she claimed was the 4th book again? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? It's not odd at all. As the photographic clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding her own book? I wonder, what became of that 4th book? Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence. You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print of them to the court, please, Counsel. My pleasure.
One of these days, I'd love to have a court case where the prosecution doesn't withhold evidence until it is appropriate for them to slam you down with.
To be fair, we kind of do the same thing in some cases.
Yeah, that still sucks.
Literally the second case in the first game, Edgeworth was caught off guard by Maya's cell phone.
Yeah, it would just be like nice if the back and forth was because of our smart assertions and discovery from cross-examination instead of revealing evidence that should have been there at the beginning.
Lion's Pride.
On both sides.
It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride. Afraid I don't know any English literature at all, so it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I've heard of the book by that name before, and very recently, too. It's a title I recognize, too, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, funny. Oh, jeez. That poor book. Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt.
Have you played this game yet?
I have, I just forget the details.
Hmm.
I think I remember how this plays out now. Okay, you're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages. What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently. A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? Well, it's a good thing I looked at it then. And that's it, eh? Yeah, cool. Okay. The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempt discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I? You see, everything I've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling? Yes, Pat! Marry me, Pat! Aren't you already married? I think he might be a little confused. So perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on this Nepalese travesty? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have learned all of the witnesses and heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we're in a terrible, precarious position. I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Rhinos, think. What do I do now? Raise an objection.
Objection!
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend. It's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but Oh, I can't think of what to say. If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, it seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. Oh? I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable. Mr. Naruhodo. Hey, give props to this man, standing up for his woman. One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance, so the court will hear you now. Go ahead, Mr. Sato. Please. My man. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further? Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished. I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you? Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. Yeah, we just looked at it. It's the book. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible. Yes, I understand. And thank you, Mr. Sato. This is it. Mr. Sato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print from the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it.
Really? You're going to say it being burnt is not significant?
Either that or he's only looking at it from the front.
Or he's trying to hide the fact that it's burnt and they have no excuse for it.
Yeah. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Oh, yes, my lord. It's, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track. Yes, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue on this to this case, which this fourth book conceals?
Got it!
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp! So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nepalese friend? Excuse me. Oh. Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day, pray, Do enlighten us. What truth does this charred book hide? Its owner. Who owns it? Charred book. There's just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out.
Josh, you've been asked a question in Outings Planner chat. Ruby.
It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. All right, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, Council. Explain this theory, of course. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered? The shop that stole it, that sold it, its contents, its owner. Because we were talking before, it very clearly comes from the Garadeb house, because that would have had a fire reason. Its owner.
You think maybe the knife was thrown by her as well?
Possibly.
Yeah.
But then the question is, how did the knife hit her?
Yeah, that's the other question.
Yeah. My lord, but the thing is, I'm being facetious here. I actually remember now how this played out, so I know exactly what happened. But that's very interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if the book ended up that far, a knife could have ended up that far as well.
But across the street?
That's assuming that that what happened was across the street.
That's like if that actually is the case, there would have to be some Rube Goldberg bullshit for that to happen. Not saying it's impossible. I love Rube Goldberg shenanigans, but
She's got a good arm.
I mean, we've established that. You're not wrong. My lord, the burnt on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon, but we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor, after all. It's obviously hers. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of whom the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers. Good gracious, how can you possibly... Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book? Well, I could present one of these two. But I think it works better if we present the one who's on the jury.
Yep.
Take that!
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb. The landlords? And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know. But of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself. Oh my goodness, me? You must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garadeb's wife. I'm his maid. Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. All right then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house? I would never presume to know all the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
But you're his maid, how would you not? This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused's landlady, you say? You implicate this hardworking member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable. This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. Good lord! What sort of incident, counsel? A fire, my lord. Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride. By Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate. Oh dear me.
Objection!
This is risible. All you've told the court is that the book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes.
My guy, that is way too much of a coincidence. You cannot sweep that under the rug.
And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself from the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discourse.
Discord.
Discord. Yeah. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Gardeb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Gardeb even amid the flames. Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly? Absolutely not, son. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, son.
Uh-huh.
Had all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Then my wife started hurling things at me. There was I, backed up against the window, under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books coming 10 to the dozen. Incoming 10 to the dozen. The man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him? Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through the window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No. A thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted in the very evening of the incident, and there was no report of the Garadeb's window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garadeb household. But it is not conceivable that the window was open at the time, and not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it.
It was on fire.
No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garadeb's wife? I believe it's a possibility. That's quite enough! Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward. Really? Claiming that our little tiff set the whole neighborhood alight? Honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name. No, I assure you that was never my intention. Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable. Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now, listening to this Nipponi spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with a munchstache. With the mustache. And he ran away from the scene, too. I do declare, you're right. It's true. Yes! What did I tell you? Makes sense to me. Sorry? What's that? Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zeeks? I'm not drunk enough for this, my lord. In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then, one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait. The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. What? No forgive the discourtesy this time? In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, will you now state your individual decisions regarding the defense's culpability for the court to hear?
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! Guilty!
All right, time for our second summation examination. Thank you for that unambiguous response. That's twice now. It's over. Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up. Mr. Summer, have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting... Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Alright, time for part 2. Alright, let's get it right into it. I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury, and I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial rights to this procedure. At least I like this judge because he's actually a fair judge. He's actually very fair.
Yeah.
So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Judicial findings. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it? Dearie me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Okay. Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. With one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, 5. No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued in either way. That means, I'm afraid, that during this summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was thinking this might be hard. But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends. No pressure, then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel. Oh, yes, my lord. All right, Ryunosuke, focus your mind now. Clearly, the key to the summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Mrs. Garrideb. We have a book that disappeared from the Garrideb's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found at the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes. Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garrideb and see how she reacts, even to the things other people say. That's good to know. Okay. So in that case, there's only one person's comment that I really want to question in this case.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because he said something about fire.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry? What's that? You'll have to speak up, lad. And also, yeah, like you said, that doesn't seem to have anything to do with anything. Could you tell us more about the fire? It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top, it did. What a sight to behold it was. You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship? Of course not. It was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously. What the hell was this conversation? I love it.
Well, it's because Japanese don't.
I know, but it's so funny. Like, was this devil worship? No, it's an angel cake.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so stupid. It seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I mustered all that puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. How do you do that? How do you not put out the fire but cause the candles to go flying?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Very carefully.
Very carefully, clearly. The furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke. Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold? But how did you catch a cold from a fire? What a fiasco it was! The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to pour out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it. The windows? The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry. I knew it was devil worship all along. But something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. Well, you just said that you... Yeah. Well, he said that he opened the window, and wasn't it juror number 3 who mentioned there was no other way for things to get out of the room?
Yeah.
The apartment? That's a mystery. I'm not reading this because it's just like they're just contemplating they're just saying what we need to do, giving us a hint of what we need to do. There's this fury. Okay, so let's go to juror number 6. The winter house fires are dire. You have to open windows to clear the smoke. That gets the chills. Yeah. Oops. What was it? Why? Pit, and then there was number 3. Even if a woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Objection!
These two jurors' statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me again! I told you it wasn't me! Yeah? What is that you say? Speak up, lad, speak up! Juror number 3. Do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh! Exactly. On the day in question at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadev household, and Mr. Garadev had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my.
Oh, my hat! Oh, and you're reacting.
Excuse me.
Juror number 4, do you have something to say about that? I feel called out but for my coffee. Mrs. Garadev. How dare you? What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something to for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense here. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. And what if we did? Oh, all right then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him the justly deserved book battering. Even though your house was on fire. Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise.
Lady.
Of course, you should have realized. I should have realized. That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You've managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garadev's formal statement. Now that you mention it, yes. The window was open at the time. I'd clearly forgotten, but it's true. Alright, and now we gotta press this guy again, because once again, he's trying to avoid the topic.
Hold it!
Might have jumped the gun here, but whatever. You just want to get it over with? How can you just sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake. Well, him and me both then, like I said before. What? I told you already. I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies
I don't know.
with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me. Another shining example of marital bliss, then. A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, well, you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember. Sorry? It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out. Helpful. I wonder if Mr. Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf. Don't even go there, Mrs. Wow. There must be some way to jog his memory about this. Okay, yeah, that's right. So now we gotta talk to, yeah, so she just brought it up, yes.
Hold it!
Let's keep going. The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garadev told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it. Yes. He was rather enjoying reading it. You're right. why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like this, I pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on. As well, you know. So maybe if you just happened to grab a knife in your anger? I really don't. I barely noticed that I was throwing a book, much less the title of it. Why are you reacting?
Excuse me.
What is it, juror number 5? You know something? I've remembered what it was. That memory I'd blocked out. Huh? I was listening to what this granny was saying.
Oh, jeez.
She's not that old.
You're
dude.
asking for trouble, considering
Yeah,
she's standing right beside you, bro.
Yeah, and she's got an arm that Mike Tyson would be proud of.
Yeah.
Brought it all flooding back. Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Gerdeb, or the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I had just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, Boyle. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost the day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. Stuck into the wall next to me, it did, about an inch deep. No words, just terror. I could smell it then, you know, that god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. Any woman lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined. No, I wasn't thinking that. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. I'd much rather throw them instead. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like. Oh, okay, fair enough. I see she's a woman of culture. She appreciates the bow. What? Attack! Who are you going to attack? Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think. Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare. I love the dialogue between these two. It's so much more interesting than Phoenix and Maya.
Yeah.
First of all, they actually have personalities. Phoenix is, I will admit, I love the man, but he's a little bland. At least in the first few games.
Yeah.
Once he becomes a father and kind of like a snarky asshole, that's perfect. Okay. Alright, so now we have a means to counteract this. We'll talk about his statement. So, a woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home for me. Then there's her statement. If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, she asked, is there another reason how the victim could be stabbed? And he talks about a woman hurling a kitchen knife in anger.
Objection.
These two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Good grief. You mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once. I know, something not contradicting for once? Unheard of. Juror number 2. Do you think, perhaps, that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh my, what do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? What's demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Gerdeb's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book. could have found its way from the Garadeb household in the street below. What's that now? After all, Mrs. Garadeb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you English gala. Eastern gala? Is it gala?
Yeah.
Maybe it's short for like Galahad or something.
I have no idea.
As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. I'll give you a curved answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What was it?
A knife.
Maybe the knife that we have in question?
Yep.
I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least, this warrants further examination. All right, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garadeb household to the scene of the crime was a knife! The jackknife.
Take that!
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garadeb. What? What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Good Lord, Counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged in the victim's back, man. Yeah, that's exactly my point. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garadeb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which the book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that the book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand? Even my missus hasn't got a name like that. Yes, I admit there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow this trial to end, not right now. Oh my. Mrs. Garadeb, your answer please. Have you seen this knife before or not?
Bread.
Oh dear. My lord! I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all. Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman, I have to agree. Not that I think the granny didn't mind. Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. Well, that's the 4 that we need, though.
Yeah.
All we needed was 4. We did it! Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruto. So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty and 4 now called innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of the court is divided, and this trial will continue. I hate to be a bother, but I need to run to the washroom. Think you can take over in that time?
Yeah. Thanks. Not doing voices though, folks. Sorry. Throat's a little bit rough because Well, I haven't really been transparent about it on camera, but I've had a throat infection this entire time, so.
Ah! Eh!
Perfect.
You win. Ugh, there's nothing I can say to that. Oh yeah, we're just going over the fact that the whatever it is landed across the street. That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Miss Susano, serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Maybe let's pick our battles here? My lord, might I be allowed to speak? As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense, yes. Go ahead. The prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. Yeah, and unfortunately, I hate to break this up to you, my friend, but it's not impossible. And at this point, however implausible it may be, wouldn't you eliminate everything else?
Mm-hmm.
To that end, juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Daredevil, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror? It's either that, or you call the husband in to testify.
Yeah.
Order! 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 Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for the member of the jury to be summoned to the witness.
Objection!
He just yeeted the bottle again. And unnecessary. Lord Van Zeeks? There was already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses? Yes, sir. Constable Rolly Beat reporting for duty, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now, sir. Haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir. Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, really, my hero? You make me swoon. You make me vomit. Very well. I hereby reject the defense's request. Oh. And order the witnesses on the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir! Okay. Okay. Gospel Beats report. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his work. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garrett house are top-hinged casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Uh-huh. I don't trust that.
I'm gonna press on a good number of those statements. Well, this is quite startling. Top hinged casement windows? That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Ah, yes. Sorry about that. I was a little drowsy. Oh, I can't stay mad at him. Look at him. I can't stay mad at him. I can't stay mad at this man. Also, he's tired. He's tired enough as it is. But still, he's a cop. But still, like, cut him a little bit of the offside. You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir. Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window? And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Of course, sorry. I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room. Alright, I'll try. So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. But as it's a top-hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see. I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents its opening. This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife would have been thrown through the top window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below.
Good point.
No. You see the problem, then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. What a statement. Hooray! There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. I do recall one funny quote in the crossover with Professor Layton.
Yeah.
Professor Layton tells Phoenix at one point, it would seem that the concept of logic is not present in this picture. It's like Gumshoe asking Edgeworth, what is logic? What is love? That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already. That can't be. Did you see that, Rolly? That young Japanese man has just collapsed in agony. Oh yes, my darling, I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me. He suddenly has that voice when he's talking to his wife. Oh, Rolly, you're so strong. He becomes shoot, what's the name of that fairy? What's the name of that fairy that always competes for Wanda's affection? Wantissimo or something like that?
Yeah.
How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and my argument's been destroyed. counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination. I love the wonton comments. It's so funny. I like these games because
They're self-aware.
they seem to have way more self-aware, like a self-aware sense of humor.
Yeah.
Than the other ones do. I think the Ace Attorney series takes itself a little too seriously, even though it still has that same humor.
Yeah.
I think this is a lot more fourth wall breaky than the other ones are.
Yeah.
Constable Beats report. Okay, so the first statement. Nothing. Believe me. Oh, he's good for his word.
Hold it!
Okay, sure. How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It was the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen in our sworn duty. He showed us that before, didn't he? Did he? I can't say I remember. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that is why I stand here today beside my long-suffering wife to tell you a Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes admittedly, sir. Oh, Rolly, you're so manly. Of course. Oh, Rolly.
Oh, brother.
Shit now. No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrigan? Ah, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir. Yes, well, so, could you answer the question? That was a waste of time, then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garrigan's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes? I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here. So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get it through without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try.
We have a bit more information now.
Okay, we can take a look at that. Okay. So we will have to press this statement as well, but I want to take a look at what he was giving.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious myself.
Item 1. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Item 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Okay. Alright.
Hold it!
By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct? Yes, sir.
Now, why do I have a feeling this is his beat?
They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see. So they're restricted as to how much they open. And therefore anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Yes. Directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road. Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top-hinge casement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable. And what would that be, sir? How do you even know? Why would you have any idea of what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garrigan's house is furnished with? Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
Excuse me!
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat? Sorry? You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really are so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's beat. It was so close, you see. Oh? I hadn't realized.
Called it.
Oh yes, that street, Briar Road. That's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one.
He has no jurisdiction there.
Isn't that right, my love? Ah, but here's the thing.
He's supposed to help.
If it wasn't on his beat, why did he feel the urge to help?
Yeah.
So what we're thinking is it was on his beat, but he did something to make it so that it wasn't on his beat.
Yeah.
Which means he probably moved the body to the other side of the street.
Oh, that's not good.
And I think I seem to remember why. I think I know why he did it, so that he could have his anniversary with his wife. Because otherwise he would have had to cancel it.
Yeah.
Constable Beat. Huh? Yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Gyarados household yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see. So. That really was cutting it close. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Gyarados household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well? Outside Mr. Gyarados' house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on the side of the road is part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that. Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. There you go. But that's the life of a Bobby after all. Extraordinary people are our Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all lovers. Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling?
You're full of shit.
That must be it. That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially. Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately. Okay, so all I have to say is, dang it, Bobby. And now it's my turn, I think. Alright, so now, obviously, if anything, I can throw the window. We have seen it. I did leave the scene professionally. I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front. Huh?
Hold it!
Nothing to report? That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I could swear to that on the yard's honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me. This burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally in the Gyarados household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well?
That's an awful lot of coincidences.
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping the book like that in her hand? As you can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene. Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them. Can I ask you something, please, Mr. Lawyer, sir? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell. What? I wasn't really, what's she doing? Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am. I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you. No excuses. I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. I will be the woke one here. My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you? Yes, Mrs. Bede, I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. It was a very loud mutter. I heard that. That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't. Duly noted, Mrs. B. Please, I humbly ask you to continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though. Right? Mrs. B, nobody is questioning what you've told us. I saw it, I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene. And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky. All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction. Oh yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I've always ended up in the wrong place when I've had arrangements to meet Roll. It never he gets ever so cross. Hey. That would explain it. She was on the side of the road when the crime happened.
Yeah.
Constable Beat, is there a problem? No, sir, no problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Oh, well, in a way, sir, yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all. You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way? Don't lose your way. On the night of the incident? Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. But she was gone a fair bit longer than I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes. But my dog was gone for good 15. Oh, Rolly, you're such a tease. But the reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly. The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Rolly's so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and pennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Why does this just sound like Honey and Darling?
Yeah. Just with the... Yes, how romantic. I'd forgotten all about it just until now. Had you, my darling? Huh? Oh, yes. But that was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise... Really? Oh. What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange. I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about the bouquet. Mrs. Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned, I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please. Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to.
He's seeing where this is going.
What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my waiver.
Hold it!
You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked. I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was in a... yeah, it was just about... It was in a dark spot where the street lights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice it first. And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on? Yes. And I came back to the scene together with the other constable you see.
Bring that upstairs to them.
That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
Uh-huh.
In case you need reminding, the victim was not deceased. I was all flustered for a moment, but before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road. Your husband, presumably? That would explain it. Like, maybe the bouquet was beside her initially, but then Rolly, while she was gone,
Move the body. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Silly me. I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although, I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there. I really can't. So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite.
Flip our reasoning.
Curious indeed, isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rolly bought me, with that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting. By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry solitary rose? Oh! Oh, that's it! That's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary, with old bits of change he found in the gutter. Maybe just call it a rose?
A rose by any other name.
Lord Van Zeeks, where do you come by the flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garrett house. In front of the Garrett's house? Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the streetlights cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
It's absolutely agree.
Oh, thank you, sir, thank you. Could I have it back now, please? No, I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence. Oh.
Even the judge is having some,
Yeah, but it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial, do you hear me? I want it back. Good grief. Rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Heath. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that face. Statement 6? Yeah. But now, we have something we can contradict with this. A present from Patricia Beat from her husband Rowan. The shock of seeing the stab victim caused Mrs. Beat to drop the rose where she stood. Didn't take my eyes. Nothing strange to report, and yet it went missing. It hasn't mentioned up to then.
Goodness gracious.
What the heck is going on up there?
I don't know.
Objection!
Construction.
Maybe, I don't know. You claim, Constable, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the phone, but that cannot be. Wait, what do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime when the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of a meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs. Me?
Objection!
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to it? No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor. But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Rolly didn't mention it, I'm sure. No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garadeb's book. Mr. Garadeb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them. What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rolly's done something wrong. Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says? Littering on about books and bouquets? Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is. Oh, good. Mrs. Garadeb's come around. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garadeb. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called...
Tampering.
Tampering, Mr. Parker. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it for a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend. Who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception?
The constable himself.
Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. Counsel, you must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime? We were talking about it a second ago.
Constable.
Take that!
J'accuse! Obviously, there's only one person who it could have been. Constable Rolly B. It was you! What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? What nonsense! Why would my Rolly do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. Excuse me? You might want to, rephrase that. No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London. Mrs. Beads, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it. You're making it up! It's all nonsense! It's all lies! What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him! He did it! If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it. Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene.
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well? But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime. To hide something.
Nope.
That's right. He's right. Well, I mean, he is right. In this case, what's being hidden is the true spot where the body was where she fell.
Yeah.
But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense. You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable B had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair. Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery? In a manner of speaking. Constant Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against the London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering. Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide. Now, I'm gonna point this out because I feel like this would have been a bold moment. This should have been worth 3 of your marks.
Yeah.
Because this is a serious accusation.
Yeah.
Like making an accusation against someone is one thing. Making an accusation against a cop
Yeah.
is another.
I'm gonna say where the victim fell,
It's where the victim fell.
because the bouquet has no relevance if everything is to be stated and understood correctly.
And where the book fell, that makes no sense because you can't really change that from what we've been talking about.
Exactly.
And this would make sense because if he changed where the body fell, it wouldn't be on his beat,
Yeah.
which means he wouldn't have to worry about it. Where the victim fell. Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this body had to cover up at all costs. What? Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know. That's certainly what everyone has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. What? What? I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponi's friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Across the street.
Right here.
Take that!
But that's on the opposite side of the road. I don't understand. On the evening in question, Mr. Garrideb's book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Mrs. B, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious!
Objection!
Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. That's right. I saw it with my own eyes. Did you notice that Rolly was like looking down, covering his eyes? He hasn't been truthful. It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was a typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Brighton. No, that's not true. It can't be. It couldn't have been.
He's also not sleeping this time either.
Yeah, he's not sleeping, but like he's covering his eyes. He knows hasn't been truthful. Constable B then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim herself, of 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Brighton. Extraordinary. And the constable overlooked one thing. What did he overlook? The bouquet, I presume. Exactly. The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously, which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond, Constable Rolly Beat? Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Are you playing dumb? Oh, Rolly, it isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding righteous man I know. I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. everything come out. Everything exposed. Only, it seems,
It's not a dream at all.
it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! Great googly moogly! I'm surprised he hasn't said that yet. I would love that he said that. Order, order, order! What on earth is the meaning of all this? Oh, really, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it?
Not a corpse.
Wishing the victim dead should be one, too.
I mean, I think it is now.
Wishing someone, like saying someone deserved to die?
Yeah. Like, not, that strong of a offense, but it is. Yeah.
Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London Town. I can't say so. What? I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation. For everything. I have a possible explanation. For why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat had felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. What? How can you possibly know? A foreigner presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman? And yet, Lord Van Zeeks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. What gives away the motive for Constable Beat's unthinkable actions? There are two answers to this.
Yeah.
The bouquet, or you could also, he's dead, but you could also state the warrant card as well.
Yeah.
Because the warrant card tells what he has to do. But for the sake of everything, I'm going to say it's the bouquet.
Take that!
Because that's what it seems to be implying for his emotions.
Yeah.
But also the emotions of him being a cop also are valid too.
Mm-hmm.
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I have only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord. Oh yes, it was our very first wedding anniversary. Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal, when he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of him, what must have gone through this man's mind? But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a Bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that, or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said, it's all right. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Oh. Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Good gracious. Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done? It was the first time since I became a cop that I ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the beat next to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mearsham Street, and then... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, Constable. I just wanted just that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner. Oh, just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. So you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the streets to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon? Oh, of course he did. Otherwise my Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement. I see your meaning now. But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat. Oh no, Rolly, that was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly. And can you tell us, Constable? How many books did you move from one side of the road to the other in total? Oh, 4 it was. Yes, sir, definitely 4. 3 of them dropped by Mr. Nazi, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garrett household. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand when all the others were scattered haphazardly around it? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When I first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding? Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir. Interesting. That would explain a few things.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only the 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you look at it had to be the fellow who ran off who'd done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. My lord. Yes, Lord Van Zieks? I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir. Mr. Prosecutor, sir, what will become of my rollie? What will happen to him? For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course. Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late. Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired. All right then, my love. One last thing, Constable. Sir? Let this be a lesson. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene. Never again, sir? You mean to say... Leave. Now. This trial is not yet over. Sir! Nah, that was nice. That was nice of Zeke.
Yeah.
Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of the crime like that? I've never heard of the word transplant being used in this context.
But it's accurate.
It is accurate. Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Suseki Natsumi, is the only person who could possibly have committed this crime.
Are you seriously still keeping up with that?
No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already. Lord Van Zieks, is this true? Very well. Name the person you will, and if further investigation is warranted, the prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing. You will name this other person who could have perpetrated the crime. Well, we've already named her.
Yeah, I know, like, finger her.
Take that!
Just everyone in the room.
Yeah, it's like everybody's like, well, duh.
Well, duh. The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again? My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garridan. Me? Oh, dearie me.
Objection!
That request has already been denied.
Objection!
But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garridan, answer me this. What do you want now, you little toad? At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garridan. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open, unhinged casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident. Yes, and as I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garridan. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back. Have you really never laid eyes on it before? Uh-huh. I don't recall it. Seriously? Am I supposed to remember everything I pick up and throw at my husband?
Yes.
And anyway, the man over there in all that regalia said members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he? Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
Oh? No. I have no recollection of saying that at all, juror number 4. Oh. Make no mistake. You jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. If you know something about this knife matter, let the truth come out. But that's just a common or garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know? What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying, please, Miss Daredevil?
You just admitted to knowing that we have
That
blades
you
like
have
that.
one missing. Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injured someone. Do you hear? I couldn't bear it. Oh, the poor woman. So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now, chop chop, do your worst. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, if I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, juror. Oh? The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Mancius. I'm going to have to testify? Yeah. Juror number 4. As I'm sure you will appreciate, having observed it with your own eyes today. Witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not even have been aware. Oh, dearie me. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Kelly. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, madam. Sorry, madam, but you kind of dug your own grave.
Yeah.
Such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. I'm a real boy! And this, my friends, is where we're going to have to leave it for tonight. We will conclude this case next time. So nothing tomorrow, I believe. More Phasmophobia on Sunday, I believe.
Yeah, hopefully this time. Last week was canceled because of how sick I was.
And then Thursday we'll be back with more fun times with Mr. Josh and Mr. Phil. I forget what.
Miss Phil?
Oh, stop! And then we'll be back.
Who's this Phil person?
Who is this Phil person? Philly Lizard. And then you'll be back on Friday for more Final Fantasy, more Ace Attorney and Final Fantasy. We'll catch you guys then.
Later. Oh, and if you want to watch our schedule, or if you want to check our schedule, check out our page. If you want to join us in our lovely community, please join us here on Discord, the Poutine Munchers. And if you want to watch us live, watch us here on twitch.tv/Turfmander. We'll see you guys then.
Catch you later.